Hey everybody, this is Herschel Furl from High School Top 200. This next one in our preseason rankings of the top 50 is Rosmini College. Rosmini is a very interesting team. I really like the makeup of this team. Um, I think if Westlake wasn't so strong this year, Rosmini is probably a pretty close second to them right now. Um, they have some really strong players coming back. Tamaro McGann is probably the first guy that you'd probably think of when it comes to Rosa and what threats they really have. I personally see him as one of the top open sides in the country. He probably most likely will play number 8 for them, but I think that he just has those qualities of an open side, and he has the speed and stamina to keep up with the defensive pressure that the open side has. At this stage, I would probably really look towards him as my New Zealand secondary school open side. Now that's a massive call, especially with open sides. I mean, we always there's like when it comes to New Zealand secondary school, especially for open side, there's a lot of really good number 8s. There's a lot of really good blind sides, but when it comes to open side, you get your few in the box that you really like, and he's in that box that I really like. And there's only about 5 guys that I really like, 4 or 5 guys, and he's going to be one of them. Again, I know that he was playing number 8, but just for me and what qualities he brings out, um, yeah, I think that he has that ability. He has that ability. He's a great leader as well. I love his determination that he brings on defense. And it goes well. I mean, because I think um, Luca is another kid, um, who's a year 12 kid who did really good last year. I think because Luca's probably going to be a blind side. There's talks of Braden Collins going blindside, but I like Braden and probably Max Hicks um, in lock, and then probably Burke will probably maybe fit in somewhere at open side or number 8, but like that's how I like it. Probably Devin Harris. Devin Harris is probably going to be on the bench. That's what I personally would do. I just like the mix of Braden and Max in the locks, and then yeah, and just kind of messing around with that a little bit. David Mickey is probably has probably got the most caps in the first 15 because he played when he was year 10, and that's pretty bloody impressive as a year 10 to be playing hooker in such a hard competition like that. So he's going to be the one that knows this is going to be sort of a normal day on the field for him because it's his 4th year around. I like this forward pack, and I know that it's really strong. They got Declan and Jimmy, probably the probably the most talked about props that they have, and so they have a really good forward pack as one, and then they got some of their individual players that are sort of a little above everybody else. The best thing about this forward pack is that they got someone like Connor Leather, who's going to be their halfback, and I think he's one of the top halfbacks in the country as well. I think that if he starts getting going, and he can keep those forwards moving and sort of changing the directions of their attack, and because the forward pack is so mobile and the fit and the like really active players, he'll have that luxury of being able to speed the game up to their pace that they want it. Sekuini, Tanimore is probably gonna be the first 5. He did great last year. I thought that he was really good last year as well, and so he'll have another crack at it. Um, and it's going to be between those two, I think. Um, Sekuini and also Connor are going to have to decide um, the rhythm of the game that they want to play, that suits the system that they're learning at training, and they're making good decisions on the day within their system, and they're not trying to have to go out too far out of their system. And so that's something that I think these guys can actually do and can handle, and especially with both of them. And then, also having someone like Tamaro as well in that forward pack and just giving them good feedback. But all three of them can work through it together. Julian Villa is probably a kid that I really like in the midfield. He played a little bit of that last year as well as on the wing. Tom and Joe Taylor is probably going to be the other guys that are around in sort of that region. And so it's going to be a pretty good mix-up. Jordan Brennan and Zach Finler. Zach looks like he's going to be at fullback anyway, so I think that's a pretty clear pick. As well, because they got Kainor Mola as another guy who's there. I think Brody Kent is still there as well as Lachlan Wallace. I think those are all guys that are back this year as well. And so they got a really good mix of backs, and then they've got a good variety of guys that they can select in those positions. So they're pretty well stacked with talent. It just comes down to me, to be honest, comes down to selection and system. So the coaching staff, if they have a really good system in place, and then they select the right players that can work within the system, or other way around, depending on how they usually do it, then I think Rosa's going to have a pretty good year. And I would actually choose Rosa to knock off Westlake more than any of the other schools within the North Harbour. They're going to have really good games against them because Westlake's really strong, but Rosa's the one that I would choose. And so, it's going to be pretty interesting. Like I said, the North Harbour competition isn't that strong as a whole, but the strong teams that they do have, Rosa's got to probably win all of those strong games and then have a really good crack at Westlake for the 2 times that they play them, I think, because they do 2 rounds. So, yeah, they're going to have a really good crack at them, and then use those other games as learning moments for that the Westlake games. And then, if all things come down to the end, they could probably steal that North Harbour crown off of them again. And so, it's going to be interesting. But that's Rosa. Get out there and support them if you're from the area and you're a real Rosa supporter. Get out there and get at your boys and support them. Make sure they know that you're there for them. Review Rosa, peace.